1 week ago, my brand new iPhone 6 Plus was delivered. I've spent almost every waking minute with it, testing, probing, comparing, and mostly playing with it. Our full review will come next week, but how do I feel about the phone so far? I'm Taylor Martin with Pocketnow, and this is 1 week with the iPhone 6 Plus. For a little background, the last iPhone I purchased was the Verizon iPhone 5 2 years ago. I've been carrying it almost every day since, only swapping it out for a few review loaners from time to time. I carried it mostly for its camera, but also because there are some things I simply prefer to do on iOS. Tweet, read news stories in Reader 2, and browse Reddit using Alien Blue, just to name a few. But over time, the iPhone 5 found itself in my pocket more than in my hand. It was simply too small for me to comfortably use. So when Apple announced two new, larger iPhones, I opted for the biggest one possible, the iPhone 6 Plus. It's exactly what I expected it to be, nothing more than a larger iPhone. Apple did almost nothing to justify the size of this phone. Samsung, for some contrast, paired its oversized phone with an inductive stylus which acts as a very powerful peripheral for the handset, and several software features that make use of the extra display space. Apple, instead, gave users a way to access elements along the top of the display by double tapping the home button. This temporarily slides the very top of the UI down to the middle of the display, so you can easily reach things one-handed. Some apps like Settings come with multi-pane views and landscape for a more tablet-like appearance, and the entire UI, including the home screens, can now rotate a full 360 degrees like iPads. Not once have I found any of this actually useful, though you do get some additional keyboard buttons and landscape, some dedicated for copying and pasting, and even navigation arrow buttons. But I never type in landscape. There's nothing that truly makes use of all that space. No true multitasking, no floating windows, no extra functions at all. It's just bigger. For me, that's perfectly fine. Michael, on the other hand, says the 6 Plus is trying too hard. I don't disagree, but I also won't deny myself iOS on a device size that I actually prefer. Speaking of size, coming from the Z Ultra and being a longtime Note user, the 6 Plus feels average. That said, it's heftier and thinner than I imagined. Paired with how sleek the phone is, its rounded edges, the overflowing glass effect up front, and the completely flat back, it's begging to be dropped. I've felt somewhat apprehensive about carrying this phone without a case. The 6 Plus is one of the very few phones that feels better in a case. Not because it feels bad or cheap in any way, just because in a case it doesn't feel so frail. The most impressive part of this phone, however, is its battery life. I've gotten used to just okay battery life over the years, needing to charge in the late afternoon or evening to make it well into the night. I've been abusing the 6 Plus since it arrived. On Saturday, for example, I unplugged the 6 Plus at 10 a.m. I played about an hour and a half straight of table tennis and Alone, two of my favorite mobile games, streamed over 4 hours of audio to my UE boom speaker, texted and IM'd throughout the day, took dozens of pictures, browsed the web, watched some YouTube videos, and tweeted some. At 2 a.m., 16 hours later, on Sunday morning, the 6 Plus still had 34% battery left. Pure insanity. Both the camera and speaker are impressive too. The speaker isn't quite as loud or as crisp as the one on the 1M8, but it still has some punch to it even if it's located along the bottom edge and is entirely too easy to cover up. And the camera. It's just great. I've been snapping photos left and right of anything and everything. Not every picture turns out amazing, but it's extremely consistent and usually gets a shot worth using. I would prefer the HDR mode to be a little more dramatic, and OIS isn't as helpful as it has been on other handsets, particularly on Lumia's, but low light shots are pretty good, and I'm more than happy with most pictures I've taken. Finally, at this point, it's difficult to be impressed by iOS 8. Its features were overpromised and they ultimately under-delivered. For me, the most intriguing part of iOS 8 so far isn't what I thought it would be. In fact, it's the one feature Apple announced that I could not have cared less about: Today widgets. I found a few that I really enjoy, like Launcher, Cheat Sheet, and Evernote, and the promise of more awesome implementations of Notification Center is very high. But third-party keyboards and third-party sharing, the two highlight features of iOS 8's extensibility APIs, are underwhelming at best. These will take some time to branch out and develop, but for now they're buggy, limited, and just not what anyone was hoping for. Continuity is also a bummer since it won't actually go live until Yosemite hits sometime next month. Otherwise, I've been very happy with the iPhone 6 Plus. It's the first iPhone I would feel comfortable carrying by itself, meaning without an accompanying Android phone. Of course, that won't happen because I recently bought a Moto 360 and I just like having both operating systems at my beck and call. For more iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus coverage, stay tuned to the Pocketnow channel. You can do that by clicking the subscribe button below. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by clicking the thumbs up button, and give us a follow on your favorite social channels at Pocketnow. I'm Taylor Martin, Casper Tech on Twitter, and I will see you next time.